Hello, welcome back to my garden. Yes, we're not in front of the greenhouse, which is kind of feel we've been starting a lot in the front of the greenhouse for the last few months. But the garden's starting to come awake, and we just had, I think, 1.5 inches of rain over the last 12 hours or so, which is pretty nice. The ground is saturated, the garden is soaking wet, so there won't be any garden projects today. But what I thought we'd do is just take a walk around the garden and see what's waking up here around the garden here in Eastern North Carolina. If you're new to the channel, I'm Eastern North Carolina Growing Zone 8B. I've been looking at the weather a lot lately, looking at the short-term 10-day, looking at NOAA's predictions for the rest of the spring and then going into summer, and I'm fairly confident at this point that we are past our last freeze. Now, last freeze officially is, I believe, March 26th. March 26th, April 1st. Some people will wait around here will wait as long as April 15th. But I'm fairly confident that the worst of it is over. Doesn't mean we won't get another freeze or a cold snap, but the worst of it is over tonight. Actually, I think it's supposed to get down to 42. That's still way above freezing. So I'm not worried about any of the plants that I have out here on the potting bench. And most of this is snapdragons, and hopefully that'll zoom in there. And they're looking really good right now. And I'm hoping that to start planting these out probably in the next 2 weeks maybe. We'll wait and see. I want to keep a very close eye on that weather. Even though snapdragons will take a light frost, these are seedlings, and I wouldn't expect them to survive if we got even a few hours of a freeze. So they might, but I wouldn't expect them to. So I'm just gonna wait a few more weeks before I start planting them out. This is probably one of the biggest ones I have, and as you can tell, it's pretty small still. So we're gonna wait another few weeks here. Thankfully, because of the rain last night, I don't have to worry about watering any of this for the rest of the week. I've got some verbena up here, I have a Japanese anemone, I've got some agapanthus over here. So let's get out from behind the table here. Let's take a look around the garden and see what's happening. Right along my bench here on the side of the greenhouse there, I have quite a few cuttings from that survived the winter and that are all coming back to life and putting on growth. So hopefully much of this will get planted out this year. A quick peek inside the greenhouse, and everything is looking good and growing. And I'll probably do a little more of a detailed tour in the next week or two. Garlic doing quite well, and hopefully I'll be harvesting them come midsummer. Some more garlic here, but over here I just recently sowed radish. So I'll be having a bunch of radish. This will probably be my one and only batch until the fall, because it just gets too hot here to grow radish for the rest of the year. I don't know if it's going to show up on camera here, but I've got a bed of onion seedlings here. My in-ground garlic is doing quite well. Not all of the cloves germinated, which is a little sad, but there's more than enough to go around. My comfrey is all coming back to life. And I'll probably be starting to take cuttings of all this comfrey to start making comfrey tea or fertilizer in the next month or so. My privet hedging is all waking up, putting on new growth. Here's a Blue Victory, I believe it's called, salvia. It survived the winter and is starting to put on a lot of new growth. I just have to trim back all the old stuff. Some daffodils here in the rose garden. And behind them, some Easter candy bearded iris. Looking forward to seeing hopefully some beautiful flowers from that this year. Peach tree here, waking up, putting on flowers. Hopefully get some lovely peaches this year. This is the base of one of my apple trees here. And the tall growth over here is Dutch iris. But obviously you could see I have some daffodils coming up, and they're looking quite nice. Planted a lot of daffodils all over the garden this year, or last year I should say, in the hopes that over the next 5, 10, 20 years, they all start naturalizing and filling out spaces. So this way every spring there's real intense burst of color. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going with. Russian sage here in this pot is starting to wake up. I was worried that I might have lost it, but obviously not. Here we have Lilac Wonder, and it's described as a wildflower tulip. I've also known them to be called species tulips. They're looking really nice right now. And I have a couple of clumps of different varieties of these throughout the garden. And then there's Sophie. Agastache starting to wake up. One of the things I planted last year, and I wasn't sure if any were going to come up, are these snowdrops. And just like the daffodils, I hope they naturalize in this space over the next few years. This English boxwood right here is putting on a lot of new growth right now, which is really exciting. Now, I'd like this boxwood to grow about 3 foot tall. I can't remember off the top of my head how tall English boxwoods get, but I'm thinking if I can grow it into a 3 foot sphere, that'd be pretty awesome. Unbelievably, I have lilies which are pushing up already. I feel like it's a little too soon, but Mother Nature does what it wants to do. Here's another small group of those Lilac Wonder tulips. This one is just about to pop open. This massive iris right here is Easter candy bearded iris as well. I had some of this over in the rose garden, and it's really putting on some nice new top growth here. Leaf growth, I should say. So hopefully in the next month or so, it'll be putting out beautiful, beautiful flowers for spring. And these tall grassy bits right here in the flower garden, that is not a weed, that is gladiolus. So already I have some of my gladiolus pushing up, getting ready for the summer. Look at these grape hyacinth. They're planted in this pot here with the wisteria. It's an American wisteria. And these grape hyacinth are pretty intense. You can see how low the pot has sunken. So this may be a project for this year where I overhaul this pot. After I overhaul the pot, I'll replant all these grape hyacinth bulbs, because that looks pretty awesome. Here in the front of the house bed, you can see the Alaskan Shasta daisies really putting on some new growth. Catmint back here really looks like it's coming to life. This is an ornamental onion, and I thought it was done dead for the winter, but it's putting on new growth now. So hopefully I get some nice flowers out of that this spring. Right here by the entrance to the rose garden, I have a Diana's Delight clematis, and I'd cut it back pretty hard this just about a month ago, and now it's just putting on all this brand new growth. And here we are back in front of the greenhouse. I don't know if you could tell, it's actually very hard to see, but all of my citrus trees are putting on brand new leaves, brand new growth. All the flowers are going to start opening up soon, which will fill this area with an incredible, incredible citrusy flower smell, which will be very exciting. I'll probably wait another couple of weeks before I move these into their final places out in the vegetable garden here, just in case there's a chance of frost or freeze. I don't want to move them all the way out into the vegetable garden. It's only another 20 or 30 feet, but it's 20 or 30 feet that my old butt has to drag them back into the greenhouse. So I'll keep them here just for another couple of weeks. Once I'm very confident that that last frost or freeze has passed us, then I'll drag them out to their appropriate locations. So that's what I got going on here in my garden. You can see everything starting to come to life, and hopefully with a little luck, there'll be a lot of planting this year. If I'm really lucky, some of these plants which I planted last year, which may not have done anything last year, will really come to life this year. They'll spring to life, they'll put on new growth, and I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm really excited about the area out by that one apple tree where I planted out those daffodils, those Dutch irises, and they're adding quite a bit of color, springtime color, to that area out there in the orchard, because normally it's just bland and green and everything just looks a little until the trees really start coming onto their own with leafing. I plan on putting out by that one apple tree a couple of verbena, and hopefully they'll start to naturalize as well, and this way that'll give me some summertime color, and that color will last right on through to the fall, which would be quite exciting. I also have plants up on the back deck, a couple of sedums, and the rose bush that I did a video on fairly recently, I believe is 2 weeks ago or so. Either way, I did it fairly recently where I wound up trying to save this rose bush that I didn't know had root rot, that got root rot. It's looking great. It's looking fabulous. So I'm really looking forward to that growing out this year, and once again putting on a beautiful display of roses. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them below. As always, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, click that bell icon, and be notified when I do post up a new video. I'm going to try to get a how-to project done for this upcoming Friday. It's hopefully something that all of you will be able to follow along with, and it's hopefully going to be something that will benefit my garden, and if you guys build it, hopefully it'll benefit yours, if that makes any sense. So with all that being said, I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.